and all our colleagues who have contributed to this debate on the report of our Committee on Public Accounts. I want to also say that the committee has done a very good job of scrutiny and, of course, sitting to investigate the report of the Auditor-General. This one is for 2015. And I want to say that the job is okay. This National Assembly, in fact, the Public Accounts Committee historically was the first committee ever to be established in the British Parliament 500 years ago. And that was because public funds were used, given to public servants or civil servants, and therefore taxpayers wanted explanations on how their funds were put to use. So this is one of our major responsibilities as a parliament, to hold the executive into account, and whoever is given the responsibility and the trust of running an agency with the public fund must be accountable to the parliament on behalf of the people. You have indicated a certain number of MDS who failed to come to the committee after invitation. I want you to go through your documents, the invitation letters with reminders. This Senate will publish the names of these agencies for the public to know. This Senate will insist any public servant or civil servant that is given the public fund for public good and has questions to answer and refuse to appear to answer should have no business being in government. Should have no business at all. Because all of us are supposed to be accountable to the people. And therefore, if someone thinks that he is not going to be accountable, then that person has no business remaining in office. But I want to also say that those who turn up to defend or explain the interrogations by the Auditor-General did the right thing. And we must commend them for coming. Whether they were able to convince the committee that the Auditor-General was not right or not, they appeared responsible and accountable. For those that have been able to convince the committee on the propriety of what they did, we commend them because they follow the proper accounting mechanisms established, probably by the Office of the Accountant General. And from my experience as Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee in this Senate, most of the agencies of government do not adhere to the established accounting mechanisms that will ensure accountability and transparency sent to them by the Office of the Accountant General. So I will, just like Senator Solomon Adiola suggested, we should go ahead and check the accounting systems established in most of these agencies. Some of them can give 1 billion naira. In my experience, there was an agency of government in about 2005 or 2006 that spent 1 billion naira on what they call welfare. 1 billion naira at that time. And that is to tell you that there is no system to stop this kind of thing. So we should go ahead and look at, especially the major agencies, look at the system they follow, and it could be helpful so that we stop people from doing the wrong things before we start to look for remedy. We should stop it from happening. The report, I believe, needs our study. Just like most of our colleagues who intervened said, let's read it and then come back to look at the recommendations. But I would also suggest that you should have all the recommendations in one place, all the recommendations, so that when we come, because it's the recommendations that we consider, instead of going through all the documents before we pass recommendation, we should have all the recommendations summarized. That will be helpful to us. But I want to assure you that all of us in this Senate are with this committee. The Office of the Auditor-General has for a very long time been undermined by the system. We have worked so hard in the past, and you are doing the same, to see that the Office of the Auditor-General is supported to do its job. And we should continue to do that, because like most of our distinguished colleagues said, if you are fighting corruption, the Office of the Auditor-General is one avenue through which you can stop a lot of things from happening. Though that has not happened, but we have moved away from at least where we found the Office of the Auditor-General then. So we will continue to support that office. And this administration, at the risk of sounding a little bit partisan, this administration came into office on three major planks of anti-corruption, of fighting insecurity, and revitalizing and reviving the economy of this country. So corruption fighting is our business, and we will not mind whose ox is God. We'll support this committee as much as possible in this Senate, so that you continue to discharge your responsibility. So with this, we don't have to set up any committee, ad hoc committee or small committee. This is entirely yours. You are the queen of committees, really. So you do your summary, and then we reschedule this thing for consideration by the Senate. Thank you very much. So we are not going to continue with both report 1 and 2. Just do the summaries, and then we reschedule it for discussions at another time. Thank you very much. Leader of the Senate.